Who from you doesn't want to be more intelligent, more clever, have better control over your emotions? Who doesn't want to develop a skill? Who doesn't want to be stronger? Who doesn't want to have more confidence, more discipline, more self-control? All of us want all these things and more. But since we're young, we've been told, old dog doesn't learn new tricks. You are who you were always in the past, and you will be in the future who you were always in the past. Now this video is going to prove to you why that is wrong. Stay with me because the last few things are going to change your life. Guaranteed. One of the principles that scientists came out pertaining to neuroplasticity is that different thought patterns and behaviors changed our neurological pathways in ways that we yet don't fully understand. What we know for sure is a few things I'm going to tell you today. Number one, you've been programmed from the very beginning, even by those people that love you and that you love, your parents, your siblings, people around you. These people, from our youth, we hear from them different things. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're so flimsy. Oh, you're so clumsy. I cannot trust you with anything because you will drop it, etc., etc. And those things become true in our heads. The same way that if our parents say, for example, you know, you actually whistle very well. That little comment that your father made, your mother made, at some point might seem like a random comment, but that might make you believe that you're a great whistler and you might whistle forever. Maybe I'm telling you my own example, my own experience. Same for singing. I never took singing classes or anything like that, yet I sing incredibly well. Why? I think it's because at some point my mom told me, oh my God, you actually sing amazingly. And then that stuck in my head. Maybe I was like 3, 4 years old. And since then, it got stuck in my head and I just know how to sing. It's funny, but all of these things almost become self-fulfilling prophecies. You're programmed by your parents. You're programmed by your siblings. You're programmed by society. Shortly after you go to school and you're programmed by the teachers, which is why I am a big proponent of not traditional education. Let's put it that way, okay? If you have the means to homeschool and choose who your teachers or the teachers for your children are going to be, maybe yourself become the teacher, that's probably a much better outcome than leaving it in the hands of the teachers that are gonna program your child's mind, like they programmed yours, like they programmed mine. A teacher that tells you, you know, your feet have to be on the ground because you need one day a job. Not everybody becomes an astronaut. Not everybody can become like Jeff Bezos and build a company. So why do you think you're special? That's what many teachers say and do. And what happened? Why? Because they are actually making clear their inefficiencies, their weaknesses. The fact that they couldn't accomplish it means that these children that are much younger than them should not be able to accomplish it either. Therefore, they give you fake beliefs that you end up believing, and you grow up believing those beliefs, and you end up becoming just another average Joe. Okay? So you've been programmed by your parents, by your siblings, by the teachers, and also by the other students that you spend time with. Or maybe you go play football in a football team, and maybe the teammates tell you, oh, you're a horrible football player. It's because maybe they're angry at you, or maybe it's because you committed a mistake, and then that stays in your mind. If you let it, it will penetrate your mind enough to make a problem, a real problem, a problem that makes it very, very difficult to get rid of. So society at large, even from the moment we're young, especially when we're young, programs us all the time. And now when we are 18 years old, 16 plus, we think we're free. Oh, well, I no longer have the shackles of my family telling me what to do. I no longer have the shackles of my teachers telling me what to do. I no longer have the shackles of the students in the class telling me what to do. But you still got TikTok. You still got Instagram Reels. You still got access to Reddit. You got access to Twitter. You still see people on the street. You are constantly programmed. You watch the news. You watch football and maybe they say something. You watch, maybe you like Hollywood movies, and all of a sudden you see an actor or actress you like say something that all of a sudden you happen to agree with because it's your favorite actor or actress. You've been programmed, you are programmed, and you will continue to be programmed in the future. Keep this in mind. Now what happens is that when they program your mind, when they tell you these things, whether it's early or whether whenever you're already mature, it doesn't matter when. Of course, when you're early in your life, in your youth, your brain is less developed, therefore it's easier to program you, which is the exact reason why they make school such a big deal, so that they can program you early, because then it becomes very hard to deprogram. It's possible, I've done it, but it becomes much harder, it requires more work. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do that. The result of being, the result of all this programming is more than just our character. Of course, our character gets either damaged or helped by these things that we are told and that we tell ourselves. But also our looks. What do you think? Do you think that you are ugly person just because you were born like this, and just because it's just your DNA makeup? Possibly you're right. But did you know that there's actual scientific evidence that tells us that whenever you think of yourself as somebody beautiful or handsome, whenever you think of yourself as taller, whenever you think of yourself a certain way, on a long enough time frame, somehow your DNA follows. And I'll explain to you exactly why later. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is that your beliefs do, of course, create your character. Your beliefs, what you hear about yourself and what you tell yourself, also determine your looks. And not only your looks, but also the energy that you give up to the people. And also another thing that changes with our beliefs is our subjective experience of reality. What does that mean? It means that your beliefs actually change the way you perceive what's happening to you, what's happening around you. If you wouldn't believe in the color blue, you would see a different color. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that sounds a little bit crazy to say, and probably if this is the first time you're exposed to this information, you're probably a bit shocked, but this is exactly how reality operates. One day I'm gonna get into how exactly that works, because I don't wanna divert too much in this video. This video is already complex enough. I don't wanna divert too much, I don't wanna digress too much, okay? But one day I'll touch upon this. What came first? The chicken or the egg? Let's imagine you wake up sad. You wake up sad and you have two options. Either you do what the vast majority of people, yourself probably included, do, which is react to that emotion, react to that feeling, and then just become sad the whole day. It's gonna be very hard to come back, yeah? Or you wake up sad and you decide that you will be happy. You declare it into the world, you declare it into yourself. And then you state it as a fact. I'm actually ecstatic. I'm actually extremely happy. Today is the best day of my life. Today is the happiest day of my life. What happens after is that your brain starts finding evidence to support this fact, because now you believe in this fact. When you become extremely good at listening to your mind, when you become extremely good at creating your own reality by evoking the emotions you wish to experience and by deploying the beliefs you wish to have, all of a sudden you look for evidence everywhere you look to support your belief. That's how it is. So then what happens, because you told yourself you're happy and you believe your word because you've done this before. This is why practice is so important. What happens is that you start looking for things to be grateful for. You start to look for things that are going very well. There are a lot of reasons to be happy in this life, even if you wake up sad. And you might wake up sad. You might wake up sad because, one second, something fell. You might wake up sad because something went on in your job, because something went on in your life. But if you take a close enough look, you will find a lot of good reasons to be actually happy. And it's very hard, if not impossible. I would say it's impossible to be sad when thinking about the good things going on in your life. It's impossible to be sad when thinking and thanking nature, the universe, your fortune, luck, God, Jesus Christ, whatever you believe in. When you thank the universe for all these great things that are going on in your life, it becomes impossible to be sad. All of a sudden, you're happy. So then all of a sudden, you have become happy, which is the exact proof that reality follows belief. This is one of the many proofs that you can use yourself as evidence to prove to yourself that this is true. Many people say, well, if I'm sad, I just gotta be sad. Well, no, that's not actually. In fact, that's what most scriptures, most religious scriptures tell you not to do. You have to force your will into the world. You have to penetrate the forces of creation with your will. And in this case, the forces of destruction are reactivity. What does that mean? You react to events happening around you. Then, if you see good news, you're happy. If you see bad news, you're unhappy. If good things happen to you, you're happy. If bad things happen to you, you're unhappy. Well, what happens then is that you become a slave of the world. You become a slave of the universe. And you're nobody's slave. You actually have great power. And until you realize that you have this great power by actually finding evidence everywhere you look, that you are the actual creator of your existence, of your character, of your looks, of your energy, of your experience of this reality, then when you have proof about all of this, it becomes very hard to even spend time watching nonsense. It becomes very hard to even accept anybody's programming into your brain, even yourself programming yourself. So have you actually heard this, I'm sure you have heard about this saying of fake it till you make it, yeah? So it's funny because when I was young, very young, I remember telling myself that, I gotta fake it till I make it, when I had nothing, yeah? And I did the right thing for the wrong reason. But over the years, I realized that this isn't really lying. It's actually identity rehearsal. It's identity shifting real time. Because we think that we live in a only Newtonian reality, when in reality, we live in a Newtonian reality and quantum reality, both entangled, both working as a team, even though they both go against each other in many ways. The Newtonian reality tells us that everything, every single aspect of existence is predictable, you can predict it, and the quantum reality tells us that, in fact, nothing is predictable. In fact, the potentiality is infinite. And in Newtonian reality, there is no infinite. So you see, these two realities that we know they exist, we can scientifically prove that these both systems operate jointly with one another somehow, okay? And even though they are polar opposites in many ways, shapes and forms. So what did I want to make? I want to say that the way in which you identity shift is by faking it until you make it. Now that's the street way of saying it, right? But what you're doing is you're training your neural pathways to find new thought patterns until it becomes automatic. And at the very beginning, it might feel a little odd. But after you become very good at this, you realize that you can actually change your whole DNA makeup with your belief system. You can change the way you look, you can change the energy you give off to the world. You can change the outcomes of what you're doing. You can change your reality. Let's say you think about a billionaire that sells his company for $1 billion and he owes 100% of it. Okay, imagine, yeah? Then the person then becomes a billionaire. But before the person became a billionaire, he was already a successful entrepreneur that created $1 billion company that can be sold for $1 billion, right? So before you become the billionaire, you have to become the billionaire. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like before he had the billion, he was not a billionaire. No, he was already, he had the identity of a billionaire. And then the billion just followed because it cannot be any other way. What is yours must come to you, always, whether it's good or whether it's bad, the good and the bad. What is yours must come to you. Karmic debt, karmic truth. What is yours must always come to you. And it's all about belief. It's all about sense of identity. I'm telling you this is what I'm telling you right now is quite shallow, and I'm not giving you direct techniques, direct tools to put this in motion. But I want you to understand first and foremost, because these videos on YouTube are sort of like beginner level, yeah? But I know it will help a lot of people. I want you to first start opening your mind to the idea that you are not who you thought you were. If you want to become a different person, a better person, better version of yourself, you can just do that. You can do just that with practice, with work. And now, that science support all of this. So actually, I wrote a couple of things just to prove to you that, in short, yes, it absolutely does. So there are countless visualization studies. One in particular by Pasquale Leone, which is that mental rehearsal activates the same neural networks as physical practice. And you probably have heard about when you're thinking about lifting a weight, doing bicep curls, but you don't do it. Imagine you don't do it. You just think about it. Then your neural pathways activate and connect with the tissue. And eventually, maybe not 100% of that bicep curl, but a percentage of that bicep curl is being made without you actually making it. Why? Because your CNS, your neural system is capable of quote unquote what we call quote unquote magic. Yeah? And it's one of those scientifically proven facts that also make people like Kobe Bryant, Cristiano Ronaldo, Djokovic, etc., do visualization exercises before they're, taking a shot in the last second, or doing the winning forehand stroke, or kicking the ball penalty and win the European Cup or whatever. You understand? All of this is done countless times in their beds, in the shower, while meditating, while contemplating. They're creating their future by visualizing it now. Fake it till you make it. Yeah? Is it a coincidence that all the major athletes in history do this over and over? Another thing is epigenetics. Okay? Your thoughts can influence gene expression. You are literally signaling your biology with your psychology. There's countless studies about this, and there are studies, in fact, about people that were able to heal incurable diseases with the power of belief. Of course, they did other things on top, because with belief, the beautiful thing about belief is that if you can reinforce the belief with more things, then you should do it, right? So, have you heard of miracle stories before? And if you haven't, please do some research, because there's a ton of them. Belief was the main reason why these people healed, why these people changed their complete facial structure, why the people changed their bone structure. It's unbelievable, but trust me, it exists. In fact, many religious stories, whether you're looking at the Bible, whether you're looking at what Jesus was doing, whether you're looking even into other sacred texts, you will find a lot of different individuals that were in touch with their spirit and were able to, with the power of belief, change and improve the lives of those around them. Yeah. Another point is the observer effect, which I spoke a little bit about before, which is, of course, a concept brought forth through the quantum physics. Yeah, is that the act of observation changes the phenomenon. How you observe yourself collapses the probability wave of who you are. In other words, before you observe yourself, the opportunities are infinite. That's why creativity and imagination is so important. If you can imagine it, pop, it already exists, right? But before you look at that wave, you don't know where the wave could be. Think about yourself as the wave. Think about your character as the wave. Think about your face structure as the wave. Think about your successes and failures as the wave. Think about your fortune or misfortune, your lack or lack of luck as the wave. Before you look at the wave, before you see the end result, your belief system is what creates the final result, in fact. So we have countless studies. I only put 3 of them, but you can find probably 25 plus that support all of this evidence. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this is that I say something that he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. I think Henry Ford said this at some point, and many other people. Yeah. And I believe this wholeheartedly, with all my heart. If you don't believe that what I'm saying is true, then by all means, you will not be able to positively apply it into your life. That doesn't mean that it's not doing the works in the background. You're just being reactive to whatever comes to you. Now, if you want to believe my words, what you will find is that when you become strict enough in putting this knowledge in motion for your own good, you will realize over the years, it will not take days, it will not take weeks, it will take years. You will realize that your experience of reality will shift completely. And maybe I was the person that opened that door, that opened the window to that new train of thought for you. That would make me very happy, and the reason why I make this video. So what to do then? What is it that you need to do? You need to have a zero tolerance policy for 2 things. Number 1, zero tolerance policy of you will not allow any thoughts or opinions that don't serve you. Whether it's from the news, whether it's from somebody on Twitter, whether it's from some Reddit thread you read, whether it is from a YouTube video, whether it is from a magazine you read, whether it's from your parents or somebody you love, it doesn't matter. You will only entertain thoughts and opinions that serve me, that serve you, yeah? And number 2 is that also includes yourself, your own thoughts and opinions. Whenever you're speaking to yourself, what you tell yourself today is what you will become tomorrow. What your beliefs today becomes your identity tomorrow, okay? What you tell yourself today becomes tomorrow's beliefs and tomorrow's identity. So, if you want to change the fruit, you gotta change the root. You cannot just change from a strawberry to a blueberry. It doesn't work like this. You have to change the root. You have to change the tree so that a different fruit grows, yeah? And of course, we live in a space-time continuum, so it will not happen automatically, instantaneously. It takes time, you know, for that belief to reinforce itself and root itself into the ground, and then slowly starts growing. And when it's growing, you might see signs that it's growing, but there's still no fruit, and eventually the fruit comes out and it's a blueberry, just like you want it, yeah? So, nothing else to say but zero tolerance policy with allowing thoughts and opinions that don't serve you, whether it's from people around you, news, the internet, society, or from ourselves, from your own brain. Best of luck. I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful journey for you. And if it is not for you, at least I planted the seed. This seed that I planted one day will come in handy, I promise. Bye-bye.